Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Jenna. How are you? I'm
So
excited. Speyside
I'm
Festival
I know.
is
You
upon
and
us.
I get to kick this whole thing off, which is so exciting.
Yep.
We had to like draw straws at work basically, and Scott and I won. So super stoked
I'm,
to
I'm, I'm
be
just
here
glad
to
that
kick this whole
I'm
thing off.
glad that I get entrusted, with big responsibilities like this.
Yeah, this is huge. I mean, there's some showstoppers tonight.
So yeah, we're gonna do Speyside Festival is upon us. The first of our releases for the 5 regions. Yes, we're doing a festival release for each of the 5 regions, but we're gonna kick it off with Speyside. We've got 4 bottles that'll be released tomorrow, and of course we'll go through those here in a little bit. But welcome everybody, and welcome Jenna. Um, what else you got for an intro?
Well, I did before we like really take a deep dive into Speyside and all of the good juicy details about this part of the festival. I did want to just drop a few little things. So what was this, like an ad break? But it's not an ad break because I don't know. I feel like I need a jingle and some music. But I just wanted to let everyone know while you are here that if you are in New York City and you would like to taste all of these festival releases, Tom will be hosting essentially like a festival preview tasting on the 21st of May at the Brandy Library. And you can find tickets to that on our website in the events section. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Tom's a lot of fun to, drink whiskey with, and he'll have all of the festival bottles for you to taste through and order if you wish. So again, all of those details are on our website. So if you are in New York or plan to be in New York, go. It'll be tons of fun. And then the other thing I did want to mention is a few days before that, on the 19th, the entire team, so myself and Ben and Scott and Zach and I think Tom, I'm not really sure, maybe our mascot, the dog. I don't know if we're getting the dog involved, but you didn't know we had a dog?
I did
A
not.
society
Oh, I
a
want to see
society
the
dog?
I want to see the
Yeah,
dog.
she's roaming around the house somewhere. But we are going to be hosting essentially like a virtual Dram session where you all can come up and sign up and come hang out with us and talk whiskey, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we sent an email out about that. But if you have any questions about that, just reach out and we can kind of point you in the right direction to get signed up for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then lastly, we did put out our June outterm preview tasting events, and we did add 2 cities. So Zach will be hosting in Los Angeles and San Diego, and I will be hosting here in Atlanta. I'm so excited. I finally get to host an outdoor preview tasting here in Atlanta. So if you are in the Atlanta area, come hang out and drink some whiskey with me for the month of June. So again, all of that can be found on our events page. But if you have any questions about any of that, just reach out and we're happy to answer it.
Maybe I want to come to Atlanta. Maybe I'll come to Atlanta.
Yes, come on. It'll be fun.
All right. So yeah, good warm
That's all
up
I got.
there. Let's go through a quick roll call here. People tuning in. Cat in the Garden is here. Joe Combs II, Tom R, Brian Bonstein, Castillo Montoya, Cosmic Hiker, The Whiskey Zone, Evan Stevens, DJ Hardware, and Smashbox Recordings official channel. Eric Waite Whiskey Studies is in the house. Stewart of Butte, Michael Sauter, Whiskey Throttle, One Glass Man. Amy is here tuning in. She's watching for GCAP. George Kaplan. Is GCAP also going to let you order the bottles tomorrow, Amy? That's what I want to know. Seth Landesman is here. The Scotch World. Drew Bills from the Scotch 4 Dummies. Big Ed. Daniel H. Steve Balzac. Victor E. Daniel H. And Big Dog just commenting. So I'm ready. I've been ready to get started. So let's get into our first.
Yes, as am I.
The official.
We're just going to start it off like that. We're just going to dive right in like that.
We're not
going to dip our toes in first. We're just head first, right?
Head first. Head
All
first.
Right, I like it.
If you're going to air boldly. Let me zoom in here a little bit so everybody can see the label on this one. And If I can get it to focus, there we go. So this is Distillery 36. This is a rare release. This is a small batch release from Distillery 36. It's actually a triple casking that Jenna and I will get into with you. It's bottled at 57.6% ABV. A 10-year-old Speyside in celebration of the Spirit of Speyside Whiskey Festival 2022.
Yeah, so Spirit of Speyside, if anybody has attended that actual festival over the years, it's been around since, gosh, 1999. But if anybody out there has been to the Spirit of Speyside, let us know if you went and how you liked it and if it was fun and if you have a favorite whiskey you tasted, because I've not been. Well, I guess we're here now at the Spirit of Speyside, you and I, in this moment. And everyone who's with us, but I have not actually physically been to Scotland for that festival. And I think it's something I need to add to my list. So
same as well. I've been to Speyside, not for the festival, and loved it. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous area. So, of course, a little bit further north into Inverness is where we stayed, a little bit further up into the Highlands, but that's just a beautiful area as well that I encourage anybody that goes to Scotland to go to that area. Just gorgeous.
Yeah, I agree. That was my first intro as well, with Speyside, and I just fell in love. I didn't want to leave. I mean, they had to like pull me kicking and screaming, you know, to get on the plane to come back. It was absolutely beautiful. So the food was amazing. Like the people were rad. The distilleries were cool. The whiskey was great. Like, I don't know. It's beautiful. It really is so beautiful there.
Yep.
I mean, just to see just fields of green, and then you see just a random distillery, and then there's sheep and just more green and rivers. And it's just, I mean, that is right up my alley. So
some Highland cattle, throw that in there.
I think they're called Hericoos.
Oh, really? I've not heard them called that before.
I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I was told when I was there. Is that everyone was calling them. So I could be the wrong one here.
So let's talk about this one real quick. Really, the society overall wanted to be able to bring more whiskey to more members across the globe. And so hence a small batch or a rare release here, as we're calling this one. And 330 bottles coming to the States. So we're still getting more than we should, or than we would normally, even if this was a single cask. You know, we may be looking at only 60, 70 bottles, somewhere in that range. So 330 bottles will be coming, or are in the States for our release. There are 1,391 bottles total. But like I say, it was an effort. Instead of just having, 160, 220 bottles worldwide, they wanted more members to be able to share, in these festival bottlings and be able to enjoy the whiskeys, which is what they're for, is sharing and bringing people together. So that was the effort here. And then real quick, you want to get into the casks?
I do. Yes. Let's break this down. So everybody get your pen and paper out and pay attention. So this whiskey was initially in bourbon hogsheads, and then that was transferred into a 125-liter quarter cask, which had Oloroso sherry. I believe it was first fill Oloroso sherry, and then it was transferred back into second fill bourbon. So it's kind of, made quite a journey through three different types of cask. But you want to dig in a little bit deeper on that, Scott?
Well, yeah, you got all right. From Ewan Campbell, though, I think he was behind putting these together. This one in particular, from ex-bourbon hogsheads to the first fill Oloroso quarter casks. And then they decided to go back to those second fill ex-bourbon barrels to kind of let the whiskey marry together a little bit and kind of just bring everything together. And I think it's paid off beautifully here. We're going to get into it. This is an excellent whiskey. It's a spoiler alert.
And I just want to say that, when it comes to, creating whiskey, I mean, anyone can really just take a single cask of whiskey and put it in a bottle and right? I mean that in, not anyone, I guess, but to have single cask is beautiful and rare and it's special. But to like be able to create a whiskey from different types of cask or different types of liquid is a challenge that's really difficult. And I think, a lot of times, people kind of overlook that talent and that art. And I think that, what we have here is incredibly special and it's so beautifully crafted. When I tasted this, I know we were kind of tasting this earlier today and, we were both like we had to kind of just like take a minute and kind of take a step back. It's a really beautifully composed whiskey. And it's, I think Ewan's just done a completely just stellar job at this. So
yeah. And I think that's one of the things with the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society that we're doing more and more. And that is the special finishes and putting some final touches on whiskey. We're not just sourcing single casks and bottling them and shipping them out. Maybe in some cases, but also in other cases, we're kind of putting our own little spin, our own little final touches and really trying to finesse the whiskey, which to me is what we've done here with this Oloroso Sherry on this one. It's really finessed, and this is it's well done, very well done. So
it is really beautiful. It's I was talking with Scott before we jumped on here, and I explained it. And we'll talk about the nose and kind of what we're getting here, but I described it as like a glass of really good like ex-bourbon whiskey and then a really good glass of Oloroso Sherry, and you taste those at the same time. And that is what this whiskey reminds me of. Like I'm having two completely independent experiences that just marry so beautifully on my palate that I don't know. It's one special.
Yeah. And a couple of questions come in. There's a character limit on the tickers. So I had to abbreviate deep, rich, and dried fruits to get it to fit in the ticker with DRDF or DRDF, as I call it. This is a DRDF, deep, rich, and dried fruit whiskey. On the nose, toasted honey, cinnamon galore, and our nice mellower sherried notes. Those dark fruits are on there. Nice berries.
I'm getting like a fig cake with like raspberry, blueberry, blackberry, like compote on the top.
Caramelized brown sugar, if that's a thing. Can you caramelize brown sugar?
I mean, brown sugar is basically caramel, right?
Oh, yeah. Melt it, caramelize it.
Man, this is like, and I feel like, so this is 10 years old, but I think if I were to nose this in a blind, I would think that this was almost much older than 10 years. Like there is a really nice, like maturity.
And you just made me realize, I don't think we said the name, but the name of this one is A Reward for Patience. When you said this doesn't really nose like a 10-year-old whiskey, A Reward for Patience is the name of this one, and great name for it. Comes through on the nose and on the palate.
Man. I wonder if I get to jump on at 1 o'clock tomorrow and get one of these for myself. That is, could I put a little bit more in my glass?
I got to tell you, I really think putting those whiskeys together and then putting them in those final casks, those second fill ex-bourbon barrels, really worked. And they did it to try to let these whiskeys and the notes marry and come together. And they have. I mean, it's a beautiful palette here. And really I'm going to tell you straight up, there's this is the small batch releases. There's a 2-bottle limit on. If you only order 1 bottle of this, you'll regret it as soon as you taste it. And you will wish you had ordered taken advantage of the 2-bottle limit on this one. The berries and the fruits, yet the sherry notes and the honeys and the spices, everything just working together here on this one. This was a great bottle to start with.
I agree. And I really don't want to like rush it because I really want to take some time with this one. But yeah, I think nose and palate actually match really beautifully on this. Sometimes you have whiskeys, nose and palate are kind of all over the place, but like the nose and palate just match so beautifully here. Like you nose it and then you take a sip of it and it is just like this beautiful transition to all of those aromas just like exploding over your palate. It's, man, and there's almost like a little like dry note on the end of this that I really like because it's just this just party of flavor and viscosity, and then like just at the very end there's just this little whisper of dryness that comes in and it's like, okay, well, time for another sip.
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
fantastic.
Yeah, I think some of the oak tannins they're showing on the finish, just a little bit of dryness. Could be from the Oloroso cask as well.
Really like that.
There's nothing really. It's not like you taste this and you go, oh, sherry bomb, or you go, oh, ex bourbon barrel. You go, it's just everything is in there, everything that you're looking for. And it's just so, people don't like smooth, but it's so smooth. All the flavors are just so smooth. They're working together, and no one is really standing out above the other. There's no punches being thrown here on this one. It's just a palate pleaser.
Yeah. And I'm again, going back to it only being 10 years, like I'm a little shocked at that. Like this is like end of the day celebration whiskey. You're like end of the week. You just want to sit in like a big leather armchair and sit back with this whiskey and just like take some time with it. It's just an experience in the glass.
I'm going to add some water. I haven't even added any water yet.
Me neither, because I like it just the way it is.
Oh, it is. It's gorgeous, neat. Right. Let's see. Fine Spirits Appreciation says, I only ever buy at least 2 bottles to make shipping worthwhile, so I don't need an extra excuse to grab 2. Michael is asking, can you hold whiskeys and ship together until the end of the festival releases? Yes, we will hold and ship together to reduce shipping costs. So
just make sure you leave us a note.
Yeah.
Just make sure you leave us a note at checkout, or you can always call us too.
Yeah. There's a comment section on the order form when you're placing your order online. Put it in there to hold the shipment for future orders. Or if you call it in on the phone, make sure you tell us to do it and we'll add that. So E Pluribus Newman, is this the only Speyside Festival bottle? No, there are 4. This is the festival bottle, the small batch release. We have 3 single casks coming up. One being a U.S. exclusive.
Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be tough to beat, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, this whiskey is, I'm surprised. Like, I don't know. I guess like reading it on paper, I was like, I really love this distillery. Big fan of everything we've ever bottled from this distillery. But I don't know. And then I tasted it and I was like, but no, like this is just absolutely beautiful.
Well, yeah. And I wanted to hit this one first just because I wanted a fresh palate on this one because it's so nice. And if you had 3 or 4 other whiskeys on your palate, this one you might not appreciate as much as you do fresh.
Yeah, this one is, I'm cool with just keep tasting this one. Yeah, this is really beautiful. And I can't remember the last time I actually had anything from this distillery. I'm trying to remember.
This might be my first one as well. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
There was actually, there's 3 tonight that I haven't had before.
Really?
I think. Yeah. Might be all 4 of them from SMWS official bottles.
Yeah. So, exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the lineup tonight is, I mean, you don't have to twist my arm to be here and taste through these. But this first one is really, it's really fantastic.
Yeah. You and Campbell.
Like I'm trying not to.
Yeah. You and Campbell did a fantastic job with this one. And like I say, it's one of those, if you only order one, you're going to regret it. I'm just if you like this profile. So
especially if you are a dirtiff, as Scott called it. This is definitely right up your alley.
dirty.
I think I need another whiskey.
Ooh, water. Just one round of water there definitely doesn't hurt this at all. I think everything's kind of starting to open up a little bit, but it's really gorgeous, neat.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, are we ready for the next one?
Are we? Yeah. I don't know. That's
got a nice bit of leather and tobacco right there on the finish. That's from a sip a little bit ago. Nice old books at library. Ooh. Yeah,
I love that note in whiskey.
All right, so the first of our single casks that will be released. This is all part of the Speyside Festival releases. 73.125. This is Juicy Oak and Vanilla. Profile 73.125. I said that. A Multiplex of Lush is the name of this one.
Ooh, good name.
10-year-old Speyside. Cask type is a first fill ex bourbon barrel. 62.5% ABV. And there will be 90 bottles available of this one. This is one we did share with the UK or with the world. Everybody got some of this one. And there were 209 bottles of this one available. So that's one of the reasons why the SMWS went with the small batch or the rare release for each region's festival bottle, is so that more members can enjoy that whiskey together. And that first one tonight, the Speyside, doesn't disappoint.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes that so special, is that, when you have friends that are living all over the world that are, also members of the society, it's, oftentimes, the UK will get some and Australia will get some, and then maybe we don't get them, right? Maybe they're different, or, we get different whiskeys in celebration of different events. So to be able to have something, collectively, as a society, as a, globally, really, is really cool. So, and I mean, I can't even imagine what else he's like brewing up over there, because that whiskey, I know I'm still talking about it and we're on the next one, but it's just, it's so good. Holy cow.
Okay. At the end, let's go back. We'll go back to it at the end. We can always go back to it, right?
Don't threaten me with a good time. That sounds great.
So this one I'll tell you as well, and I've sampled this one, already shot a review of it. This is an excellent example of the Juicy Oak and Vanilla profile here. And again, a 10-year-old, this does not palate like a 10-year-old at all. So, but let's get into it and reveal it.
There's like I'm trying to think, but that's like lime essential oil I'm getting on the nose.
Yeah, it's like very light citrusy. Lemons and limes, pears and apples, vanilla extract, rich vanilla. Whew.
Yeah, definitely getting big vanilla, but almost like vanilla bean, like the way like a vanilla bean ice cream taste is kind of what this smells like, with like lime, some kind of key lime or lime essential oil, or ooh, yummy.
Michael Sauter says, I never cared much about Speyside. He's a big Isla guy until I joined the SMWS. Absolutely love Speyside now. Yeah, there's something to be said for the single cask strength whiskey showings. So, whew, yeah. Ooh. No special casting here. Just first fill ex bourbon barrels. Excellent example. Go ahead, Jenna.
I don't even know what to say. I was going to say a bad word, and then I stopped myself. Like, oh my gosh. Okay. The texture, if you, like me, love texture in your whiskey, Holy cow. This is like, it's almost like if you've ever made like fresh whipped cream, like out of like, like you get like those good, like fatty, like just it's like creamy and like dense and it like kind of leaves a film in your mouth. I love that. And this whiskey very much reminds me of that. It's like a homemade vanilla whipped cream. Holy cow.
Yep.
That is fun.
Just slightly sweet, maybe with a little honey drizzled on top of it, on top of those citrus fruits that we talked about, on top of a little bit of, lime zest, lemon zest, maybe some orange peel as well, pears, apples, slight caramel.
That is, I was not expecting that.
Yeah. Like I say, go ahead.
No, just the nose was like kind of soft and delicate, but still like, lime and vanilla, but that texture on the palate is just explosive. Whew. I'm a fan.
Yeah, so I say a great example of the juicy oak and vanilla profile here. Maybe one of the better ones I've had in the profile. Overall, just a great, even for a 10-year-old, this is phenomenal. A phenomenal palate.
I'm coming to your house to steal the rest of that bottle. And the other one too.
I can get you more.
You know, guy.
Yeah, very nice. I mean, you kind of, with each flavor, now I'm getting to where, you get a flavor profile and you kind of have expectations going in. Yeah. And when I tasted this one, it exceeded them on everything. I mean, on the vanilla, on the oak, on the citrus fruits, everything is really multiplied. It feels like in this one that it's just explosive.
It really is. I mean, this is
raging.
If you were going to sit someone down and explain like what juicy oak and vanilla was, this is the whiskey that I would use. Like you literally get you get juicy notes, you get oaky notes, you get vanilla notes, like it's all in there. And I think that ABV, like it doesn't quite drink like 62.5% to me.
It nosed a little bit. It burnt my nose hairs there a little bit on one sniff that I took, but yeah. And I just added a second round of water to this, but everything's really more of that sweetness, a little bit of a floral note is coming out here and a little bit of a nuttiness as well. But still all of those others, still that little fruit basket with that homemade whipped cream with some honey drizzle on top of it.
I mean, and I just took a big gulp of water and that is still just lingering on my palate. Holy cow. That is fun.
So again, I think I said it. This is one of those. It's a 1 bottle limit on this one. Only 90 bottles available in the States. So at quick, yeah, great example again. And
really
115 on this one, and that was the first one, the Dirtiff, the deep, rich, and dried fruit. $115 for that, and that's a steal.
What?
Yeah. That one's $115. The 10-year-old Speyside small batch release from that's 36. So let me look again to confirm, but I'm pretty sure it was $115 on the rare release, which we didn't touch.
That's a steal.
It's a steal. I mean, it's both of these absolute stunners.
Steals.
So, yep.
Wow, man. I don't know. We're 2 for 2.
Yeah. Where do we go from here?
Right? Exactly. And I'm never going to be able to call it deep, rich, and dried fruits ever again. It's just Dirtiff forever now.
Dirtiff.
This is our Dirtiff flavor profile.
Someone's probably cussing at me right now. One of the bosses. Like, what did he call it? We can't call it that.
Dirtiff.
And it's all just because of the character limit. I had to abbreviate. All right. We're going to go 35.303. This is a U.S. exclusive, not shared with any other country for the Speyside Festival. 82 bottles available. And I'll wait for someone. Let's wait for the first comment here that picks up what Jenna and I have both noted. That's a little different with this one as you're watching the ticker for a 15-year-old. 35.303. Sweet, fruity, and mellow profile. Our barrel type, a second fill ex-bourbon barrel on this one.
Jacob, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. 47.9% ABV. So this is a U.S. exclusive, like I touched on. The only thing I can think of is that it had to be a leaky barrel. We probably lost a lot of the spirit, so there was only 82 bottles that come out of it, and at the same time, the ABV probably dropped down pretty good during that leakage. Jenna had a pretty good tie-in to a movie.
Yeah, so it made me think of, if you've seen, I believe it's called The Angel Share, where this group of people go out to try and basically like get this whiskey from malt mill. And so I just pretended that this was a malt mill whiskey, and yeah, they went in and tried to get some of this cask and only got a little bit of it. So we got the rest.
Now, I'll tell you, though, yeah, I mean, a couple comments about the ABV being that low, and somebody said, oh, E. Pluribus Newman says, nope, next, please. I'll tell you, I mean, it is low, but this is still a very nice whiskey, and I think the low ABV passes this off as a much older whiskey because of it. It is cask strength, no water has been added, so I think with that 47.9, when I tasted it, it feels like a much older whiskey, I think because of that lower ABV. Yeah, odd number.
Yeah. Ooh. That tastes old. Mm-hmm. Like it tastes old, like a whiskey that, not in a bad way, but a whiskey that's definitely older than 15 years. Mm-hmm. If I blind tasted this, I would not guess 15 years. I'd guess like 20, like mid 20s.
I'd say 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would think. In a blind tasting.
There's a nice melted caramel creme brulee note.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. On some raspberries again.
The crunchy part of a creme brulee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With a little bit of that like cream underneath. Yeah, you are spot on that. Ooh.
Yeah. And looking at second fill ex-bourbon barrel. So a little bit more of the distillate character showing here, not as much as that wood influence. Nice lighter spices here, nice cinnamons. I'd even say maybe a little bit of nutmeg here. Some of those red berries, the creme brulee, caramel crisp. What's the peanut? It's not peanut, but I'm not getting peanut or peanut butter here, but it's the hard candy where it's like you put the
brittle.
Brittle. It's like a caramel brittle here, and that's probably like those chunky pieces you were thinking of the crisp part of the brulee.
It's really creamy, like this. Like the nose is very creamy, the palate's very creamy, like custard. I'm getting like custard, like that creme brulee, that big custard. Yeah. And I mean, now that I can't get out of my head, it is like spot on, like cracking the top of a creme brulee and getting a little bit of that crunchy bit and then a little bit of that custard underneath. Wow. I love this distillery too. I think this distillery it doesn't get enough credit. I think, especially the cask that we get, holy cow. I mean, some of my favorite SMWS bottles have been from Distillery 35. Uh-huh. I mean, hands down.
Nice fruit sweetness here. I even go back a little bit of a honeyed sweetness on this, but still with all those berries. I'm going to take another sip neat and then add some water here. But neat, very nice. Love it. Great palate. Like I said, I think that low ABV really passes this off as an older whiskey. Mm-hmm. And I think it must have had, maybe it had a little bit more intimate contact with the wood if that barrel was that low. but it's not necessarily that there's a lot of wood influence here, but it's kind of maybe some of the wood tannins got in. It was a second fill ex-bourbon barrel. Maybe some of that oak tannin did settle in there a little bit. Makes it feel a little older. Slight tobacco. I'd even say a little bit of a walnut or a pecan praline.
There's definitely a nutty like quality. I was thinking like initially like raw almond in my head. Man, this whiskey is, I'm trying to think of how to describe this. It is like a very beautifully elegant kind of whiskey. It is, the ABV is not, and honestly, I don't think I would have guessed that this was at 47.9%.
Right.
I would not have guessed it was at that. So that does not put me off in any way. I mean, this whiskey is, there's still a punch. There is still like depth of flavor. It's all there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's just really beautiful. It's just a beautiful whiskey.
If you haven't added water, go ahead and add a little bit of water.
I did.
I think it helped it. And you may, most people may not want to because it's 47.9. I think it helped it. I think it's actually opening up and revealing more of itself and a little bit more of that nuttiness, a little bit more of that tobacco ness is showing, and just nice. I think it's really helping it open up and expand. And it's not a 60%er, but it's really nice on the palate. Just everything, the notes makes up for that ABV punch.
I feel like with a little water, I get more like green apple on the nose, like big green apple notes. And on the palate, it almost makes it like even like this more viscous, which is weird. Like it's almost creamier with a little bit of water. It's like straight up vanilla custard. So yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to have something different. It's different. And I love that. Yeah. That's exciting to me.
Yeah. And moral of the story is don't be put off by the ABV on this one.
Don't.
And I don't think if our tasting panel didn't think this was ready or didn't think this should be put out, I don't think we would have at all. And don't put off that 47.9%. Don't, sometimes we release a 7, 8, a 9-year-old whiskey. Don't put a whiskey off just by its age. If you've learned that lesson, don't put off by the ABV either. This is a great example of that, and not to be overlooked.
Not at all. Ooh. One
more, and then we can go back to the Distillery 36 rare release.
So we'll just do this one, and then we'll just go in reverse. We'll just work our way back through the other 3 in reverse.
I'm glad you liked that one as much as I did, because I thought coming in, I think I said, I said earlier that it was just a phenomenal whiskey, that 36 rare release. And
really?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you, same boat, is good. All right. I clicked on the wrong ticker there. 2.127. This is the first SMWS bottling I've had from Distillery number 2. So I was anxious to try this one. Yeah.
How exciting.
Yeah. And, it's one of those distilleries that's well known. This is spicy and sweet profile, a 14-year-old named A Trustworthy Companion. 14-year-old refill ex-bourbon barrel, 58.6% ABV. Nice lighter color on this one. Again, just telling you that it hasn't been not that much influence from the wood coming in on this.
This nose is a lot of fun. And I'm trying to gather my words to try to describe it, because I was not, again, expecting that kind of nose.
I mean, it's spicy,
This is-
and actually, I'm looking for the sweet because I get just spice all over.
I'm getting like, what is this? It's like, man, I'm stumped.
Yeah, I get cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, black pepper, fresh cracked black pepper,
Okay.
oak, and trying to discern the sweet.
I'm definitely getting a sweetness to this. I'm just trying to put my finger on exactly what it is.
I can't go with raspberry
Man.
again. I use raspberry too much.
No. This is almost like, there's almost a tropical element to this.
Okay.
I'm getting like, it's like banana bread, like a spiced banana bread. Definitely cardamom. I'm with you on that. It's like like a spiced banana bread with like some type of like boozy drizzle on the top, but I just can't put my finger on what exactly it is. It's not rummy. Man, what is that? All right, I'm gonna taste it. Maybe that will.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, there's some definite berries, some fruits here, little tropical, and just a lot of spice, though. And it's really trying to get through the spice to me and trying to pin that down. But I'll go in on the palate.
Oh my gosh. That is, wow.
Spiciness way up. I mean, that was the first thing
Big
I got.
time.
Before, I mean, just as I took that sip, the
Ooh.
spiciness, the oak, fresh cracked black pepper, almost a rye spiciness here. Ooh. Cinnamon.
Maybe that's what it is.
Or like a rye spice.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting more so on the palate than I got on the nose.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like if you had a fresh like banana and like pineapple bread and you just dunked it in a rye and then ate it. So like a rye soaked piece of banana and pineapple bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, I can see banana nut bread for sure. I love
Yeah,
that.
there is a little nuttiness to that for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is.
Yeah, a lot of
good.
spice is to me is the driver here. It's on the front of the palate, mid palate, back of the palate.
This is definitely the most like fragrant nose of the four for me. Like the nose on this is like, I want my house to smell like this. I want my car to smell like this. I want them to make a perfume that smells like this. I mean, the nose on this is beautiful. Holy cow. I could smell this all day.
And such a full palate neat. I'm adding the first round of water here. Man. 58.6%. Almost feels a little bit hotter than that. Nice though, but spicy, darker fruits. Not sherry notes, but just blackberries. Little bit of papaya, mango, little bit of tropical. Yeah. A lot of cinnamon, a lot of pepper, a lot of spice. Nice oak. Great finish. Everything.
Lingering finish.
Lingering. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, it sticks with you.
And second round of water. Wow.
Yeah, I just really love and just I'm getting such like big tropical fruit kind of notes on this, but there's like a warmness to that. And I think that's where I'm thinking like banana bread or some kind of like tropical, like banana nut bread. Like you said, like there is a warm quality to this that I really like. But definitely getting big tropical fruit notes on this, which is super cool.
I think water is definitely helping the nose. I'm getting more. The nose is really opening up now. I think probably they're just bringing down some of that ABV where it's not jumping out of the glass at me. But yeah, more of the fruitiness is showing here now with water than it was to me neat. Neat, I was getting basically spices and oak. Now I'm getting more of that creaminess, more of the fruits, little floral, nuttiness, slight tobacco. It's really opening up now with some water.
Almost getting like so when I was growing up, I used to hate bubble gum. Like I'm not a big gum person. I've never been my whole life. But my favorite gum was this grape bubble yum. And I remember for like a long time I couldn't find it. I think they like discontinued it. And I walked into a gas station in Atlanta and they had it and I bought like 10 packs of it because it's my favorite when I was a kid. And I'm definitely getting a little whisper of like grape bubble gum with or that bubble yum with a little bit of water.
Yeah,
on the nose.
I could see that, and just or just red grapes
Holy
as well
cow.
now, kind of showing. I think water definitely helped this one. I think it helped open it up, and it's not neat. It was a lot more spicy, a lot more oak.
Mm-hmm.
Water is really bringing out more of the fruitiness now and that creaminess. Some of those grapes, that candied sweetness. So water definitely helping this one. I like it. This one is also only 60 bottles of this one in the United States. This was one that was, shared with the world, single cask, and a 1 bottle limit on this one as well. Wow. I'm going to add a little bit more. I've had two rounds of water. I'm going to put just another little splash in there because I think water really helped this one. I like this one a lot more with water.
I'm a big fan of that whiskey.
Yeah.
Really, really stellar. Wow. 4 just completely unique, delicious drams. That's crazy.
I think so. The spice on this one at first neat was the Conor McGregor. It was in there throwing punches, kicking people, and then added some water, brought it down. It's more now. It's the lover. It's the lover now. It's not the fighter, I would say.
Okay. I was like, I don't know any. What is he?
I was trying to think
what is
if you were thinking of an actor or who's a sports guy or an actor that would be a lover. We're going from Conor McGregor to Ryan Gosling.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know.
I was like, I know who Conor McGregor is, but I'm like, is it MMA? Is MMA?
Yeah.
Is that what he does? That's like, yeah. Okay. I'm not really good at that stuff. So I was like trying to find an equivalent or, opposite end of an MMA fighter, which I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. But yeah, to me, neat. This was the Conor McGregor. Like I said, it was landing some punches, hitting you in the face, and then water toned it down, brought out all the fruits, all this nice sweetness. Spiciness is still there, but it's a lot more
Ryan Gosling
style, I think.
Okay. That would be kind of fun if we just every whiskey that we did a review on, we used like those. We just described them like by an actor. So like you taste a whiskey and you're like, oh, this is very Julia Roberts, or I don't know. That would be a fun way to review whiskey.
All right, well, that's those are 4 bottles coming out tomorrow. We're going to go back and we're going to hit on our first Dirty. Do what?
Bordeaux Cliff said Antonio Banderas.
Oh, there you go. All right, so this is the one we started with. I see KLG 223. Kim is tuning in. She said, I thought you guys were releasing one tomorrow. So exciting and dangerous for my wallet. We started with Distillery 36, the rare release for the Speyside Festival. And I think we should touch on this one again before we go because we were both really, this one.
I feel like going back to it, like the nose now is just like even more. Now that we've like wet our palate a few times, I feel like I'm picking up things that I didn't get on the first round.
That could be, and it's been sitting there for a little bit as well.
Yeah, this just feels even more amplified than the first time. Like super like thick. It's like a candied, like it's like candied pecan or like praline syrup is what I'm getting on the nose now. Like I want to pour this on like pancakes or waffles.
Well, and obviously I've got a round or two of water in this one, and I want to go back to neat or pour some more in it, but I'm going to refrain from doing that. But this one, if you weren't here at the first of the video, this was the first one we touched on. This is the festival bottling release for tomorrow. It's a small batch release in order to bring more whiskey, more bottles to the worldwide members and allow more people to take part in and be involved in our festival releases. Also, we're not doing any lotteries. So these will be first come, first served. This one, though, so this is Distillery 36 rare release. This is the only one. There's a 2-bottle limit on this one. And I'm going to tell you straight up, if you're a Dirtif fan, deep, rich, and dried fruits, I had to abbreviate in the ticker for those watching. Dirtif. If you're a Dirtif fan and you only buy one of these, you will immediately regret it when you taste it. You can buy 2 of these, and I think $115, it's a steal. This is a great whiskey.
Beautiful whiskey. And Castillo said, I want to buy all today's bottles, but no more are being released in the coming days. So do I buy now or hold off? I'm so torn. So the only thing with that is that, you know, these bottles aren't guaranteed to be there, right? So, I mean, these could sell out in a day, 2 days. I mean, we really don't know. So if there is something, you know, that definitely sounds like it strikes your fancy and it's something that you definitely want to have, I would not be as patient in ordering.
Yeah.
Because I think these are going to move rather quickly. Ooh. Delicious.
Just like I remember. Just like I remembered it. Wow.
Yeah, really beautiful.
Phenomenal. All right. Well, I think we got everything out. We had a couple of teases at the first. You want to hit back on, you went over some upcoming events. If you want to touch on those again before we close out.
Yes. So on the 21st of May, if you are in New York City, if you live there or you're traveling there, Tom will be hosting essentially a festival preview tasting where he'll have all the bottles for you to come and taste through. And you can place any orders then if you decide to. And that's going to be on the 21st. All of that information is at the Brandy Library, and all of that information is on our events page on the website. And so if you have any questions about that, you can go over there. All the details are there, but again, you can always reach out to us. We're always happy to answer any questions that you have. And then on the 19th of the month, we are going to be doing essentially a virtual Dram session where you get to basically sign up for a time slot and just come and have a Dram with us and, you know, talk whiskey and festivals and, you know, ask any questions that you have, which will be a lot of fun. So that you should have all of that information in your inbox. But if you don't, just reach out and we can send that information over to you. So sign up and come hang out with us and, you know, have a whiskey or two with us. And then lastly, we just put up our June Outram preview tasting details for those in-person events. And we did add 2 new cities. So San Diego is now on the list and Atlanta is now on the list. And so I'll be hosting in Atlanta and Zach will be hosting out in San Diego. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So come join us. And all of that information, again, can be found on the events section of our website at smwsa.com.
That's right.
Ta-da!
All right. Well, thanks to everybody that tuned in. Appreciate it greatly. Jenna, thank you.
Thank you. And yeah,
so off to our festival releases.
It was an honor to be able to kick this off with you and, you know, be the first to taste through some of these. And I can only imagine what's to come, but holy cow, these were special. So yeah, 1:00 tomorrow, they'll get released on the website. So be signed in and be at the ready to pick them up.
Yep. Hisham Shaban, real quick, is asking, will you hold bottles to the end of the festival to ship all together? Yes. Yes. Put that in the comment section of your order, and we will hold them and then ship them all together for you at the end. Scott Friedland wants to know, will my individual bottle tasting videos be uploaded before 1 p.m. tomorrow? No, at 1 p.m. they'll go live on the website. We are going to hold off on publishing them to YouTube, a little bit slower rate instead of all at once, but they will be available on the website if you are watching and you go, or if you go to the product page on the website, smwsa.com, you'll be able to watch the reviews.
Nice.
I think that's it.
This is a treat. Cool.
Yep.
Well, this was a treat.
Remember, Scotch Malt Whiskey Society whiskeys are not for swigging, glugging, or knocking back. Please drink responsibly. Cheers.
Cheers.